following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
This is Talkin Cowboys. Streaming live from the Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star in Frisco.
First down. Handoff. Elliott plowing to the goal line. Barry, sacked by Lawrence. Prescott keeps it, and he bangs it in for the touchdown.
Here are Mickey Spagnola, Brian Broaddus, Rob Phillips, and Bill Jones.
You know, I woke up early this morning before the sun came up, and I was wondering if it was going to come up. And lo and behold, about 7:30 it did. And here we are, talking Cowboys for another week. Bill Jones with Mickey Spagnola, Brian Broaddus, and Rob Phillips. And do we ever have a lot to talk about this week as we look back at what happened on Sunday? It's the morning after a 24-22 loss to the New York Jets. And we look ahead to the Philadelphia Eagles. It will be a battle of division leaders, as expected. 2 3-3 teams at AT&T Stadium on Sunday night. But we got a lot of time to get to that. Over the next 45 minutes, we're getting to what happened yesterday at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. Mickey, you were there?
I was there.
Rob, you were there?
I was there too.
Brian was here at the Star and doing pre- and post-game stuff. You've heard a lot what Brian has had to say already on the post-game show. Let's start with the guys that were there. You're just a quick little run around here to get your impression of where we are right now.
Go ahead, Mick.
It's kind of hard to be quick on this one.
Just quick. We've got a whole another 45 minutes.
There's so many things that go into a 2-point loss. It's like you can't be quick about it. You're playing with kind of one hand behind your back with the injuries that they went into the game, suffered during the game. The fact that your defense just can't seem to get it right now, giving up 58 points in 2 games. Not good enough, especially when you knew your offense was going to struggle without your 2 starting offensive tackles and then 2 of your top 3 wide receivers out of the game by the second series. And then you fight your ass off to get back into the game, and you need one more stop down the stretch, and they give up a field goal that ends up being basically the difference in the game because the offense finally scored some touchdowns in that fourth quarter, and you lose by 2. And here's what you find out when you're on the plane for 3.5 hours and you have time. I look back over the history. You have to go back to 1986 to find the last season they lost 2 games by 2 points, and now they've done it in 3 weeks.
Interesting.
Yeah. A second straight week, though, that it didn't seem like it's that close. You know, the score didn't seem like it was that close. And Mickey spoke to it. Once again, really slow starts on both sides of the ball. Offensively, 3rd straight game without scoring a touchdown until the second half. Defensively, Mick touched on it. They did a better job against the run, 2.8 yards per carry for Le'Veon Bell and company. But Sam Darnold, clearly they're a different team with him at quarterback. He had a lot of time in the pocket, was able to set his feet, and Brian spoke about Jamison Crowder. Those receivers were able to get separation and made a lot of big plays in the passing game. Penalties were a factor. They actually won the turnover battle this week, but it wasn't enough. And once again, Dak spoke to it after the game. We keep digging ourselves a hole. We're not playing complimentary football, and that's why they've lost 3 games in a row.
I'm getting tired of all the post-game comments. I'm getting tired of the, trying to find answers and, we have to do this and we have to do that. It's about time to go out and play football. I'm tired of, we're not executing, we're not doing this, we're not doing that.
You're talking about the post-game answers in the locker room from the players and stuff?
Yes. Yep. It's the same song, second and third verse. I'm tired of it. Go out there and play better. And Mickey's right. You get handicapped, but nobody feels sorry for you. We talk about that. They built this team with backups, with the backups to be able to play in these games. You have a starting quarterback. You have your running back. You have a guy that I felt like was 1A complimentary wide receiver that goes out there and drops passes for you. When things were dark, when Amari Cooper coming off the field, you had to feel better about, okay, hey, Still have Michael Gallup to go out there and make plays. Michael Gallup didn't make enough plays in that game. I'm pointing the finger at him a little bit on this. I'm pointing the finger at Tank Lawrence and those guys. Tank Lawrence didn't have every single time being double teamed. This is a Jets offensive line that struggled to protect. Him, Robert Quinn, Malik Collins, none of those guys did a good enough job getting pressure on Sam Darnold. Your quarterback got hit 8 times in this football game. 3 times, though, 2 of the times he was outside the pocket, took really big, heavy hits.
Where you're wondering, is he going to get up from that?
Yeah, and great toughness on his part to get up after that. But you're telling me that the defense, that they can't cover Robbie Anderson on a double move. You allow that to happen. They get caught in a situation where Jeff Heath is the deep safety with Xavier Woods playing down. That's a problem right there. That's not using your personnel the right way to put him in that situation. Jeff Heath cannot play the ball down the field like that. It's a problem. Okay? But you've got guys that you are relying on each week to make plays, to help you win these games. That right tackle had never made a start in the National Football League for you. Didn't play terrible, wasn't good in the run game, wasn't nearly good enough. On the 4th and 2 play they tried to run, he's the one that didn't cut the guy off going inside to make the tackle.
Trying to pull from right to left.
Yeah.
Yep.
But that's about knowing the coach, knowing, okay, what do I have up front? What am I dealing with up front? I admire him for going for it. I'm surprised he went for it. But, they didn't run a good enough play. They didn't execute a good enough play. And again, I'm just tired of after every game now, it's the same commentary. Go out and do something about it. Stop with the commentary. Go play football. Go start the game well. Go finish drives. Go play defense. Tackle well. All these things. Coaches included on this.
I agree with all that. I also look at the reaction from fans and sports talk radio and so forth. What needs to be understood in this league is that there's not that much difference in the teams, okay? And what Brian is saying is absolutely correct. The Cowboys should have gone out there and beaten that team regardless of who was playing quarterback on that team. But the Jets are a totally different team with this quarterback than what they were the last 3 games. And the Cowboys are a different team when they don't have their 2 starting right tackles and their 2 of their top receivers throughout the game. And so the talk that this is an embarrassment, that sort of thing, is ridiculous in my mind. But this team needs to get its act together in a hurry, and it needed to get its act in a hurry yesterday. I did not agree with the call to go for it on 4th down at the 7-yard line, 4th and 2. I thought that you take the points there, you don't give them the opportunity. You understand that what you have or don't have on your team and what they have gained on their team, and you kick it, you make it a 7-6 game, and they took advantage of that. And it's a ploy that coaches do all the time where, change of momentum, you take your shot, and they took a shot, and it paid off big time for them.
Zeke had gotten stuffed one play earlier,
and that's the other part of it. In the first half of the game, he had 35 yards on 10 carries.
Yeah, Frederick and Williams didn't do a very good job on that double team block right there.
And so I didn't have confidence, and I didn't like the play call, obviously.
Yeah.
But I would not have gone for it at that point, just because the nature of the game. Okay, let's make it an even game. Let's make it 7-6 and go from there. And then they found themselves in the hole from then on, and they were rattled the rest of the half. They give up the drive where they just easily matriculated with short passes, and and now you're down 21-3.
Brian,
see, I think that was a indication, him going for it on 4th down, knowing that they had an opportunity to score a touchdown, and they didn't have confidence that they were going to get down there that many times, that you had to cash in and score a touchdown. They were going to struggle. Those offensive tackles, you guys can say what you want about them. They weren't good enough. Dak Prescott got hit more times in that game and harder than I think I've seen in his entire career.
Well, and just
he
like
was getting blasted.
Did you watch the game again?
I'm asking. I absolutely did.
What hits did he take other than the 2? I saw 3 The twist stunt that Connor Williams, they missed that one. He got blasted on that one. The boot and waggle was the one. He was outside the pocket that he really
got. And how about the 2-point conversion when the guy blitzed and came through free?
That's right there on that. To me is on the call.
I don't care what it's on. He got hit.
Well, it's they've got to make a play.
I understand.
They're going to sell out.
He tried to hang on to it as long as he could.
They're going to sell out.
But I don't care. He got hit.
I don't think you watched the game the right way.
Well, I did watch the game the right way.
I don't think you watched the right way.
Well, I absolutely did watch the game the right way.
So.
Maybe you didn't watch it because you weren't there.
So the point on
I watched this morning, Mickey. I don't think you did.
The point on him getting hit a lot.
I'm saying that
he didn't get hit every single play.
They were having problems blocking the front. They had to forfeit putting wide receivers out there to keep 2 tight ends on the field most of the game. They had to put a fullback out there.
They ran 12 personnel
times.
in first down to run the football. That's the problem. You got all those first down runs.
Because you didn't trust them blocking
they didn't
to
throw
protect
the ball.
the quarterback.
They're running it.
They didn't trust them protecting the quarterback.
Gave up one sack.
How many times did he get hit?
He got hit 8.
8 times.
8 times in the game.
8.
3 times, 2 times outside the pocket.
And in key situations.
Okay.
So, it makes a difference when you don't have the best tackle in football on the field and the guy that's been playing the best on your offensive line on the field.
They tried to get the ball out quickly, and because of that, they didn't have a lot of explosive plays. And I went back and I counted it. I don't know how many times you may have counted the times the Jets blitzed. Yeah. I mean, it was more than half the time.
Sure.
Not every. It felt like it was every time, but it certainly felt like every third down they were coming and bringing pressure. And the one time they got the sack, they weren't blitzing. It was just 4-man pressure. But there were guys in his face. They tried to, Tavon Austin's your leading receiver. That shows you.
Do you think they missed the tackles more or Cooper and Cobb more?
I think they missed Cooper and Cobb more.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah. To me,
especially when Gallup's, I know
Gallup
the balls are
well.
high, but he's got to catch those balls.
He dropped 2 that he should have caught.
He's got to catch those.
Yeah.
Right.
He dropped 2. Tavon Austin gets an illegal formation on the second series that wipes their setup basically in the red zone.
That's a 15-yard play and probably what happened to him is when he's going to the outside, he's looking to see the coverage. He doesn't see Witten come across. Well, he's got to know that, though. He's got to see Witten. He gets to know that Witten is going to switch formations from the right to the left side. And he's looking at coverage and doesn't see Witten because he's got his back to the play. So that's a problem right there. Maybe he's in a situation, too, where he's having to play and he's not used to playing on the outside over there, and it didn't come naturally. But he could also ask the official, what the situation is, too, and he didn't do that.
So, and then, say what you want about Cedric Wilson's PI. I know you didn't think it was a great call. But these penalties, the drops, you can't have it when you're this compromised on your offense. And at some point, I know like you're saying in the locker room, we got to clean this up. It's self-inflicted. Good teams don't do this week after week. And I know they think they're a better team than this, but
maybe they're not.
But that's the thing.
It gets back to Parcells. You are what you are.
Yeah, maybe they're not a better team. Maybe that's a problem.
And that's kind of where I was at the end of the day. I mean, we're talking, and gets back to my point on, okay, the Jets, they've got their starting quarterback back, okay. I think the 2 best players on the field, the way they played yesterday, were both Jets players. One of them was Sam Darnold. The other was Jamal Adams on the other side.
Sure.
And, and there's a reason that they were the best players on the field yesterday. One was the 3rd pick in the draft. One was the 6th pick in the draft. The 3rd best player on the field yesterday, I thought, was Zeke Elliott. And he was the 4th pick in the draft. I mean,
he ran his ass off second half, try to get the physical, get the tone set and try to get something going.
My point on that is, okay, the Jets were back to full strength, basically. Okay, the Cowboys were depleted, whatever, but you are what you are. When you can't beat them, okay, you fall behind, you make a dumb decision, I think, and going for it, and then you fall behind and you battle your butt back and you get back in it, but you aren't able to execute to get the win. Well, you're sitting there at the end of the day. You're 3-3. You've lost 3 straight games. You had 3 great wins to start the year against weak teams, and now you've played stronger competition.
You just lost to a weak team, supposedly.
Well, but I don't know how weak that team. That team, when they had that quarterback, lost to the Bills, which is a pretty good team in the first game of the year, 17-16. So I don't put the Jets in the same category with the Redskins and the Dolphins, but others say it's an embarrassment.
So we sit here and we were arguing about the offense. The defense gave up 24 points, right?
They were bad.
Right.
21 points in the first half. 3 touchdowns. That was more touchdowns in a half, and I understand Darnold wasn't out there the first 4 games. They had only scored 2 offensive touchdowns, right? 2 offensive touchdowns to that point, and they got 3 in the first half.
And that first
defense has got to be better. I don't know why they insist on when they go to a single safety high, they motion Xavier Woods down into coverage and leave Heath up there by himself.
Totally agree with that.
On the touchdown,
you can call it
throw.
a dumb decision or not, but that doesn't mean, part of the decision is, okay, if we don't get it, we got them backed up at the 7-yard line. You don't have to give up a 92-yard touchdown pass.
That's right.
The second longest in club history. You had to go back to 1972 to find a longer one, and it was only by 2 yards.
Who was it?
It was the New York Giants. Norm Snead threw a pass. I think it was some guy named Houston or something.
Alex Webster.
I
I thought Norm Snead was a Philadelphia Eagle.
Well, I
He
thought
was.
so too.
He was
So it
all
wasn't
mine.
Snead.
Yes.
It's in my column. I forgot the guy's name. 1972.
And
94 yards.
And on their first touchdown drive, the Jets, 4 penalties defensively. They were ready to get off the field for a field goal, and that kind of set the tone, got them going a little bit. And then, I think the 92-yard play is the longest play from scrimmage in the NFL this year.
Yeah, it's,
It was the second longest in Jets history.
it's a shame that you don't get any pressure inside though on that 92-yard pass. It's just you get no push to the inside. You have the quarterback has the ability to step up, make the throw.
Yeah.
And then you got a corner on the outside that's not playing with very much confidence out there.
And now you got
trouble.
corners who are banged up too, going into this week.
Good luck with that.
All right, we talk about that and much more to get to here as Talkin' Cowboys continues in a moment.
Your new apartment's big. Such a great deal.
It's okay.
Just okay? What's not too...
Right above the subway!
Well, I bet you don't even notice it after the...
That's my neighbor, Angus!
A deal that's just okay is not okay. Get a great deal with America's Best Network. Come into an AT&T store and learn how to buy one smartphone and get a second one on us. Based on GWS 1 score, September 2018.
Star Sports Tours is the only official fan travel partner of the Dallas Cowboys, offering exclusive game weekend travel packages with sideline access and photo ops with current players, alumni, and cheerleaders. That's not all, though. You'll get to talk X's and O's with Senior Director of Player Personnel Will McClay, and of course with yours truly, me, Brian Broaddus. You can trust the official fan travel partner of the Dallas Cowboys, and with us, you'll travel like a pro. Visit cowboystravel.com to book your travel package today.
Work the Cowboys way and channel the winning business tradition of the Dallas Cowboys and the Jones family at Formation. This dynamic workspace provides an elevated work experience on the Star's aspirational campus with exclusive membership options available to meet varying needs. Choose from open workspaces, dedicated desks, and private offices to leverage our home field advantage for your individual business success. Limited memberships are available now, so apply today at formationatthestar.com.
A man's Stetson doesn't just protect him from life's elements. It projects an unstoppable and legendary spirit, just like the men wearing silver and navy on the field every Sunday. Since 1865, Stetson hats are American-made with pride right here in Texas. They are still the official crown of all self-respecting Cowboys. And Stetson is proud to be on the field with America's team. Find Stetson hats in the Pro Shop or at Stetson.com today.
Back to Talkin' Cowboys.
Talkin' Cowboys continues on a Monday morning here at the Star in Frisco. Cowboys fall to the Jets 24-22. And going into the game, as we approached this game last week, we were saying, well, what if they did lose to the Jets? What would talk shows be like this week? Well, we're getting a taste of it right now. We're going to get it the whole rest of the week. Jason Garrett has always said he never listens to sports talk radio, and I would advise him not to start right now.
The front page of ESPN.com says, is Dallas done? First take, you go in the break room, it's, is Dak losing money? Based off of the performance yesterday, I mean, it's all coming at him right now. And that's what happens when you lose 3 straight games. No question about it.
Especially when you're the Dallas Cowboys.
Especially when you're the Dallas Cowboys. It's easy. I'm not saying it's clickbait, but it's a talking point when a team with this high of expectations and this type of visibility is struggling right now. There's still a lot of football left to play. Like Brian said, though, you got to figure it out. This is a turning point in the season right now with the Eagles coming up because they're coming off their own struggles, but the division could be decided this Sunday coming up, depending on what happens the rest of the way. It's one game can swing it.
Philadelphia still has some difficult games left.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
they've got to play at Seattle. They've got some games coming up that New England. Some games, they're going to have to. This is not going to be one of those things where it's like, okay, that there are a lot of games that are backloaded and stuff like that. Their schedule. I mean, they've got some easy games at the end. Don't get me wrong, but they've also got some tough games that they're going to have to deal with here going down the stretch. So we'll see.
I thought we might have the Dumb and Dumber deal on the New York Post again from going back to 1994 after the 4th and 1 in Switzer and with Barry and Jerry on New York Post. Was it New York Post? Dumb and Dumber picture?
Yeah. But there wasn't enough media there to care because I think they were all worried about the Yankees.
There you go. They had their own problems.
And that's the thing of just at the game yesterday. There was not a lot of electricity in that building pregame and to start. And
it built as the game went on?
Yeah, all of a sudden here come the Jets fans. They gave them something to cheer about. I mean, I think they did not expect their team to have the type of performance they did.
Okay, did you sense that the Cowboys came out flat? Because that's one of those talking points on talk radio.
That's what you say when you don't understand.
Right.
Yeah. That's one of those things where you're looking for answers and you don't understand really what's going on. Mm-hmm. And you say something like that. Where they, they weren't ready to play. They didn't have fire.
Right.
Bill Cowher said, they're lifeless, emotionless, all that stuff on the sidelines. I felt like the Jets just made some good plays.
They did.
I felt like the Jets had some good scheme things they did. I thought they took advantage of they didn't really have to run the football. But, Sam Darnold did enough to affect the way you getting the ball out of his hands. He hit the receivers. That's what they haven't had. They haven't had anybody make plays for him in that way, throwing the ball down the field. They hold the ball, they take sacks. But in this game, they did a nice job. Darnold didn't do anything that to me was just spectacular. He moved around in the pocket enough, bought himself a little time. Cowboys on the back end couldn't cover well enough. I mean, that's ultimately what happened.
And he came back after the 92-yard drive, and I think was 4 or 5 when they scored right before the half. And you go back and watch it, man. He had clean pockets every time to throw. And Jason spoke to it this morning on the fan. The pressure up front just wasn't what it needed to be consistently. For
they didn't even get close to a third down on that possession.
No.
And what's not working either, by the way, is Jalen Smith lining up as a defensive tackle in a 4-man front and rushing. He's not getting anywhere.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That to me is if you're going to bring him, but he's a liability in coverage. So you got to figure out, and we're sitting there thinking, guys like me are saying, well, go ahead and bring him and then see what happens, on the rush. He's powerful enough to handle that, but Mickey's right there. You're just not getting anything out of that.
So do you think they're doing it to employ Jalen as a pass rusher, or are they doing it in order to get someone else on the field in pass coverage?
Yeah.
And they don't want to take him off the field.
This pass rush isn't anywhere where it needs to be, and so I guess they're looking for answers right there to say, okay, well, let's add this element to the mix, but it's not anywhere where it needs to be. Especially, they do not have players affecting the game like they need to affect the game. Especially in that second half with, Quinn. His first sack was really all an effort play. I mean, it's damn good coverage.
Yeah, zone.
They manned it across.
No, I misspoke. It was a coverage.
Yeah,
sack.
Absolutely. I mean, it was Quinn's second effort really that got him the sack, because if Darnold doesn't pull the ball down, if he just throws it away, it's just an incomplete. But, that he held it, and once they got him to pull it down, finally Malik Collins got a little pressure inside. They just haven't had any of that. Nothing inside, really not a whole lot coming off the edge either.
And not a whole lot of blitzing in this game either. They tried to win with their front four, trying to win up front.
Yeah.
And, give credit. Hey, if you want to look at a positive, Jordan Lewis came in and made most of his snaps. I think he got 37. He got the pick. He got a key stop. that held the Jets to a field goal at the end, kept it to one score. But yeah, and now they're looking at
what about the corner situation now?
Mick, Byron Jones,
not good.
Yeah.
No, they're in trouble. Yeah, this is going to be a hard game for them. As far we'll see what happens with the week of practice. With these guys, these soft tissue injuries, we know that's a disaster.
Byron Jones and Anthony Brown.
Yeah, Anthony Brown went out really early in this game. So, yeah, I think you have to be concerned, too. I mean, I know we're talking defense, but you have to be concerned what's going on with Amari Cooper and the quad. He usually fights through things. Obviously, it must have been just too much for him to have to make it through that game.
I mean, he didn't even have his helmet.
Yeah.
His helmet was gone, so it wasn't like he had any thought that he was going to be back in the game. So, and then you're out there when you go and they tried not to play as much nickel, but you had to bring Goodwin in there to play corner, and you use Jordan Lewis in the slot. They tried going a couple times. They went their base defense against 3 wide.
Yeah.
So it's problematic. We can say, okay, next man up, but at some point you get diminishing returns, offense and defense.
So what do you think about the offensive approach to start the second half and throughout the second half, where they decided they're going to feed Zeke?
I thought, to me, and I'm a guy that always screams for balance. Balance, got to have balance. To me, I just felt like there wasn't the sense of urgency that there needed to be. They did have some success. I went back and was looking just at first down runs. And I was thinking, okay, were they doing against the heavy box? But every first down run appeared to be there was extra tight ends on the field, And I'm trying to figure, okay, they have almost 7 yards throwing the ball on first down. I know I'm playing right into the friggin' analytics guys here. But, if you're averaging 7 yards a play on first down and a little less than 3 yards a carry on first down, it's, but how are you doing it? They're doing it in 12 personnel. They bring in extra guys in there to have to deal. I'm counting them up. 12 personnel, 21 personnel. That's the 2 backs. 13 personnel, 12 personnel. It just goes on and on and on. And you wonder, why these first down runs, if you think about maybe spreading them out. I know Mickey's talked about this before. Try and spread them out a little more and then run the ball inside and play it that way. But, man, they get in that heavy look and they just run the football, and they had a little success, after that. But man, that just makes it tougher on your offense to have to block with that many guys playing down, or that many guys that you're putting out there, and then you're dealing with 7 and 8 man boxes. That 13 personnel, they had 9 men in the box trying to run the football there. So, yeah, I just kind of wish that that they would have. Gone to, maybe they were giving their defense a little blow. Maybe that was their plan in that sequence. But I was starting to get a little impatient because I'm thinking like, okay, start throwing the football here and start seeing if you can make some chunk plays. We'll see.
I thought maybe it was just a concession as well to where they were at wide receiver without Cooper, and I wonder if the influence came from the head coach that run Zeke. And but what happened, and it was successful. I mean, they had a drive, but they ate up half the third quarter with that drive, and that's the problem when you're down 21-6 to start the half, and that's going to shorten the game. Even if you drive 61 yards in 14 plays for a touchdown, you've just eaten up the entire half of the third quarter.
Well, the problem is they drove that whole drive and kicked a field goal. That was
that was the next one.
They drove 75 yards for a touchdown until it got called back.
Right.
Yeah. I thought it was just try to get some balance, knowing what your situation is at your tackles, and try to get something going where your play action is meaningful to try to back off some of the pressure they were getting.
Fortunately, it worked for them to get back in the game because they had the interception down in the red zone when the Jets drove back down in the third quarter. And so then you were in a position, and then you missed the field goal.
Yeah, that was.
But it should have been 21-13. That first drive of the third quarter, no matter what they did with 2 tights or 3 wide or running the football, they drove right down and scored.
Right.
What'd you think of that call on Cedric, the pick?
He didn't pick Jamal Adams. Jamal Adams ran into the wash, and he ran into his guy that was guarding him, and the guy guarding Witten didn't get through. He has to go either over or under, and he ran right into it.
Well, and Trumaine Johnson, who was covering Cedric, I mean, he engaged him as much as Cedric went into
tackled him.
Yeah,
he didn't, and that's not a pick when you the guy covering you, right?
No,
because you're at the 4-yard line, so you got 4 yards. He can grab if he wants. I saw the exact same play on one game Saturday, college football, and I saw the exact same thing where the tight end motioned inside the wide receiver and then went out and caught an easy touchdown pass. And I said to myself, Kellen Moore should watch that. That's a good play. Yeah. And then they ran it, and then they got called.
Jets had a nice pick play that get Jamison Crowder up the sidelines on Anthony Brown. But I mean, it's at the discretion of the officials, and we've learned that the officials aren't always going to do their jobs. Sometimes they're going to do their jobs very poorly, and that to me, I watch the receiver try and get inside. Wilson gets tackled basically, and now he's in a situation where he's trying to fight to get free, and then they say it's like a moving pick, and that's just a poor call. And and when they turn that one in, the officials are going to, the league is going to say you're right about that, because there's nothing that Cedric Wilson did that, it wasn't like he went into Adams and then turned or tried to interfere with him. He was just trying to run his route. Johnson's the one that tackled him at the point of attack. So that's the problem there.
And even Romo corrected himself when he called it a pick, and then he saw it on replay.
Yeah, right. And Gene Steratore backed him up on it too.
Yeah, that's a bad call.
Yep.
But then you got to try to overcome that, and they didn't, because on the third down play at the goal line, they didn't have anybody open, and he tried to dump it over the middle to Zeke. And but even if he dropped the ball, he wasn't going anywhere.
That was,
so now you got to kick a field goal. Speaking of field goals, and then you miss one from 40 after you make a 62-yarder.
Well, that's what we've seen. I mean, he was knocking stiff those ones from 60, 58 in pregame, but it's those money kicks, 30s, 40s, where
they need him to make those kicks.
Yeah, you don't know if he's going to make
33 yards, 40 yards. It's funny. He went back and watched the 40-yard kick that he had. He started. I don't know. I'll have to ask, but he started early on his approach.
Yeah,
he nodded. Yeah. He nodded his head as to go, and the snap, and then he took a step and had to catch himself, and then he started again. So you don't know if that threw off the timing. Did in his mind, was he like he had to hesitate? He came back, he reset, then he went again. So, who knows with him? I mean, it's a miracle that they kick a 62-yard field goal, a 50-yard field goal, make both of them, and can't make a 40-yard field goal. That's a problem. That is a problem.
And last week can't make a 33-yarder.
Yeah, you could say what you want. His teammates have to be just. I don't know what you say to him. I don't know what, I don't know. You're so happy when he makes a 62-yard field goal. I'm thinking, okay, please don't get this blocked, first off, because he maybe has to drive the ball, but the Jets didn't rush. And so he gets a free crack at it, and he makes it with room to spare. But then you get down there when you need him to make a field goal. The operation was fine. The snap was good. The laces were away, and he just pushes it, and that's, they can't have that.
Normally when he misses to the right, the ball fades. This one never. It never was inside the uprights.
Never did.
He just shot it to the right. And the weird thing was, in warm-ups we were watching, and he was really good in warm-ups until he was going the direction where he made the 62-yarder. He was having trouble getting it there from 55 and 58. So when they said 62, I said, might as well throw a Hail Mary, and then he hits it.
But he did make it from almost 60, I think, in his last kick.
Yeah, he did, but he had to do it twice, remember? He missed the first one.
Okay.
It was short and to the right, and then he hit the second one when he tried it, and it was good. So, yeah, it's just weird, because I heard last week his warm-up was terrible.
I don't know how you have any faith in him. I really don't. To me, it's like you want to like everything about him making a 50-yard field goal and a 62-yard field goal. You want to like everything about it, but the fact that he has no consistency, and like I say, it's not that hard. 40-yard field goal should be in the money of a kicker, and for him, it's a problem.
All right, we continue with more Talkin' Cowboys in just a moment.
It can be hard to find the right resource for learning about important financial matters. You search how to build savings, you end up reading about the one weird ingredient from supermarkets that can make you taller. That's why Bank of America built BetterMoneyHabits.com, a safe little corner of the internet for answering your financial questions. Full of simple videos and tips, Better Money Habits can show you how to make the most of your money without resorting to random searches that always seem to lead to unbelievable photos of childhood stars grown up. To learn more, visit BetterMoneyHabits.com.
It's time for tailgating with the OtterBox boys.
The OtterBox that builds those crazy protective phone cases?
Yup, and now they're changing the side dish game with the OtterBox Trooper Soft Cooler. Lightweight, mobile, and leak-proof, Trooper is perfect for blitzing a crowded parking lot with a Frito pie.
Amazing. Hey, you think I could fit my 7-layer salmon salad into the Trooper cooler?
Yup, but please don't.
And that's been Tailgating with the OtterBox boys. Learn more about the Trooper Soft Coolers at OtterBox.com.
While a player could look good on paper, it's when he's out on the field that you really find out what he's made of. That's why the Cowboys rely on more than just stats and scouting reports when building their team. When picking a tractor, it's why you should rely on more than just specs and features. You've got to take it out and put it to the test. The Cowboys did when they named John Deere their official tractor. Experience one for yourself. Visit myjohndeeredealer.com/football.
Dr. Pepper is the one you crave. But how do you explain that craving?
Imagine a surging river of ice-cold Dr. Pepper, roaring with carbonated mists of desire. You're dangling above it, upside down, like a fishing lure in the wind. 23 flavors tickle your nose, but the river is too far away to taste. Dr. Pepper calls to you. You.
Now that is a Dr. Pepper craving. Dr. Pepper, the one you crave.
Want to use what the pros use? How about the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black. Right now, you can get the Jack Black Starter, a curated collection of Cowboys locker room favorites for just $10 with free shipping. The starter includes 4 Jack Black skincare favorites, plus a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Go to getjackblack.com/Cowboys and use the code word TEAMJB. That's getjackblack.com/Cowboys. The Jack Black Starter, $10, free shipping.
Back to Talkin' Cowboys.
And if you go to Jack Black, they'll take care of your face, your shave, your body, and your hair. And this week's special is the 2 faces of clean. When you purchase $60, you get free deep dive or pure clean. Use the code word clean and shop now at getjackblack.com.
All right. And we continue the last 5 minutes or so as we pick up the pieces from a disastrous Sunday in New York. That's the way some are describing it. Defensively, what's your biggest concern in this Dallas defense right now?
No, lack of pass rush, consistent pass rush. I think that's a big issue because if the secondary is not going to cover well enough or consistently enough on the back end, you better find a way to get pass rush, especially against an offensive line that's proven that they've struggled. They were switching guys in and out and still been able to protect yesterday. That's a big concern to me.
Might as well start blitzing.
They didn't really do much. I mean, I agree with Brian, although a week ago he said it was the run defense. And that's the thing about when the defense has struggled this season, you can't point to just one thing. There's been multiple issues they've had depending on the opponent and the circumstance.
They're alternating. Last week they couldn't stop the run. This week couldn't stop the pass. 338 yards passing.
Yeah.
When they were like averaging 113 a game.
Yep.
Now I know it wasn't Darnold, but still.
He clearly made a difference in this game. Mm-hmm. I mean, it just was the fact that he was able to move in the pocket a little bit. They've given up a ton of sacks. He was a blessing for this offensive line. And like I said, they were shuffling guys, the guards, the tackles. They were shuffling guys, trying to, they were doubling one side, they double the other. They kind of mixed it up a little bit. The Cowboys just did not win enough one-on-one battles. Again, that's cliche to say, and I'm not meaning to be that way, but to me, you're supposed to be able. One of the things you build your team on or pride your team on is the ability to rush the passer. And you did not take advantage of a situation in this football game to get after Sam Darnold the way you should have against a team that has struggled to protect. I don't care how much he can get rid of the ball.
Quinn had 2 sacks, 2 pressures. Everybody else zeroed out on those 2 categories.
Yep.
And this is a quarterback coming off a bout with mononucleosis who's got an enlarged spleen, who obviously had great protection, but as far as the equipment that they gave him to wear. But, I mean, you're coming after this guy. So how much credit, though, do you give the Jets for their offensive scheme and being able to, with a short passing game, to offset a pass rush?
I think it's the way you have to play. You know, to me, Dallas, they did a great job of playing against Le'Veon Bell. He only had the one run for, I think, 13 yards, and it was, you know, really that was just kind of a misfit that they had. Robert Quinn, you know, they had the backside taken care of, or front side taken care of, and Quinn overshoots the play. And now the ball's out the back door, and then Joe Thomas misses a tackle. And again, that's kind of been a problem with the Cowboy linebackers. They get a guy in the second level. Oh, we missed a tackle. Well, there's another 7 yards to the play. So, yeah, I thought they did well enough to handle what they had to do with running. But in this league, you know, we're all learning that they throw the ball almost every snap now. You know, and if you're going to throw the ball every snap, you better have a pass rush. And you know, Brian brought us, talking to the third person here again, told you that they had pass rushers in DeMarcus Lawrence and Robert Quinn. And, you know, Brian Broaddus has been wrong because they haven't got nearly enough pressure doing that.
Third downs, Jets were 2 for 10 on third down, and the Cowboys were 10 for 17 on third down.
Yeah.
They made him pay on some of the blitzes. I think Tavon's 23-yard gain, that was the high for the game. That was a blitz buster. I think on the Witten touchdown they called back. They made him pay a couple times, but they gave it away too. And, you know, but yeah, better overall on third down. I thought they would have scored more. I went back and I couldn't believe it. Was, what was it, 10 of 17 on third down?
Yeah, that's what, 10 for 17.
That's how they've won those first 3 games, was converting third downs, 58%.
And yeah, Cowboys all season, they're ranked 4th in the league on third down on offense, third down percentage on offense.
First time a team has lost, winning a turnover battle, converting 10 or more third downs, and then
25 or more first downs.
Yeah, and then win the time of possession.
Yeah.
Oh, from our friend Bobby Bell.
Yeah. Now again, this was 90-1.
Mm-hmm. This is the one loss.
This is the one loss.
Since 1991, I think.
Right.
NFL teams were 90-0 when they did that in a game until yesterday. Now they're 90-1.
Unreal. This stretch is unreal.
And now it's the Philadelphia Eagles. But, you know, you're sitting there, you're just back to square one now. You got 10 games left in this season. So now I'm going to go through the schedule. I'm going to figure out, okay, which is the W's and which are the L's.
That's how you have to look at it, though.
We get in trouble playing that way, looking at the W's, because you kind of felt like that going into this game that they would
that was a W.
They
threw one back.
No, they've thrown 2 back.
Yeah, they've thrown 2 back. Yeah, you look at the Saints game and you look at this one. So I mean, that's a problem. And at the end of the day, they're going to add them all up. You're either going to be one to the good or one to the bad. And this team has no margin of error when it comes to that.
Well, but look around the NFC, and there's not a real dominant team out there this year, and we can talk about that.
Team in San Francisco might say
they
something about that.
They are 5-0 right now. Their defense is looking pretty good.
The mystery team.
Seattle might say something about that.
Russ is playing pretty good. Yeah.
Yep. But it's
talking Rams ain't very good right now.
No, that's right. It's kind of like talking Cowboys.
It's not very good either.
All right, but we will talk at you again tomorrow here on Talkin Cowboys.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!